Hello, my name is Philip Hesketh and welcome to this course on persuasion, influence and relationships and how to improve all those things. Effectively, how to get your own way more often. I'm a professional speaker on the psychology of persuasion and influence. I ran my own business from 0 to 48 million and sold out, and now I'm a professional speaker. At the end of this course, you'll know exactly what questions to ask at exactly the right time. You'll understand how certain words make a difference to relationships, and you'll learn how to build trust too. So what we'll learn in this course is the 7 psychological drivers. What is it that makes us tick? We'll learn to ask the right kind of questions in the right kind of circumstance to get the answers that we want. We'll look at how people lie, why they lie, and how to spot a liar. We'll look at trust, how to build it, how to measure it, what is it? We'll look at linear probing, and we'll generally at all sorts of really neat top. This course is for absolutely anyone who wants to improve their relationships, who sees the importance of improving relationships, becoming more persuasive and influential, both in business and of course in your own personal life. What is it that makes us tick? Why do we behave as we do? Why do people do what they do? In this first section, we're going to look at the first 3 fundamental psychological drivers. And they, in many respects, not only cover every individual, but begin to explain why people do what they do and how they behave as they do. First of all, fundamentally, we all want to be loved. And by loved, I don't necessarily mean hugging and kissing. What I mean is we want to feel like other people care for us. We don't need everyone to care for us, but we need a handful of people to truly care for us. And the more people care about us and our needs and understand us, the more we feel loved. It's a basic fundamental driver. The next thing is that we all want to be important. And by important, I don't mean look at me. What I mean is we want to feel like what we're doing is worthwhile. Everybody wants to be treated as an individual. Everybody wants to be important. No matter where you are in an organization, you want to feel like you're making a contribution, that what you're doing matters. You don't have to be the CEO, you can be a quite junior employee, but you want to feel like what you're doing truly matters. And then the third driver is we all want to belong. When I say to people, what's the most important thing in your life? They almost always say family. Why is that? Because you feel loved, because you feel important, and because you belong. You probably belong to a group of people. You belong to a society or a club. It might be a ski club or a canoe club or it could be a bridge club, a golf club. You'll have a group of friends. If you use the word clique, it's probably because you're not in it. You see, what we all want to do is feel loved and important and belong. And we like to form cabals. A cabal is a military term, meaning coming together of people for a common purpose. And we want to feel like it's me and you together. I've asked people all over the world, have you ever said, will you marry me? And the other person said no. It very rarely happens. Well, why is this? Because this is the ultimate question that you can ask of anybody. Would you like to spend the rest of your life with me? That's a way, way bigger question than would you like to go ahead with the order? Would you like to go to the cinema tonight? So why is it you almost always get a yes? It's because the human being is the only animal that really thinks about the future. And when you're saying, will you marry me? You're not turning features into benefits. You're not selling yourself. You've discussed the future. And the two of you together feel loved. You feel loved by the other person. You feel important and you feel like you belong together. So in this series of lectures, what we're going to look at is how to best use those 3 drivers. So let's start with question number 1, and it's a question I'll refer back to. It's what I call the ultimate universal killer question. And the question simply is this: what is the most important thing to you about? So if you have a significant other, next time you're home, say to your significant other, what is the most important thing to you about our relationship? Then sit and listen. And 2 things happen. One is you find out what's important to the other person, which you might not know. And the other is the other person feels loved and important. You belong together. If you have children, say to your child, what is the most important thing to you about me being your mother? What's the most important thing to you about me being your dad? And sit and listen. And they feel loved, they feel important, and you feel like you belong. Say it's called a universal question, because it literally works in all languages, in all circumstances. So we want to be loved, we want to be important, and we want to belong. It's all about me and you together. And relationships work best when you feel like you are in tune, like you know there's some uncertainty in the future, but that's a good thing. You feel loved, you feel important, and you belong. So the first three fundamental psychological drivers, that we all want to be loved, we want to be important, we want to belong. Let's look at the fourth driver. What is it that makes people do what they do and how they behave? It's simply this: we have a need and a drive, a desire to believe in things. You know, no society has ever been founded that didn't have some form of religion. We need to believe in things. But often we believe in things that aren't true. And what happens in the brain is that once we have a belief in something, we look for evidence to support the belief that we've got. And actually you have to do that, or else your brain would turn to mush every day thinking, I'll change my mind on everything. Let me give you an example in football, or soccer as it's known in different parts of the world. It's widely accepted that in a two-legged game, where there are two games to decide who goes through to the next round or to the final, then it's better to play the away leg first and then the home leg second. And people believe this to the point where in most countries, if you do well in your league, you're actually seeded to play the away leg first and then the home leg second. But three German academics have spent some years studying over 10,000 two-legged European games, and it's actually 50-50. It doesn't make any difference. And when I talk to people about this, they often say, I'm sure that's not true. Why? Because they've got a belief, they've got an opinion, and sometimes you can believe that something is too expensive. And what draws you to that conclusion? Well, I just think it's expensive. And the point being about this, the thing that drives us is the need to believe in things. It's very difficult to persuade somebody that they're wrong. In fact, if you did a list of least persuasive things to say in any relationship, probably in the top 10 is, you're wrong on that. Because people actually don't listen to you. They just dislike you because you've got a different belief. So the point to all this is simply this: when somebody has a strong belief in something, whatever it might be, don't actually challenge their belief and tell them that they're wrong. Just ask questions such as, oh, that's interesting. What draws you to that conclusion? Or what makes you think that way? And then see if we can separate opinion from fact. Because quite often people do have an opinion about something. They regard it as a stone cold fact, and it's nothing of that type. So there's the top tip in terms of improving your relationships. If somebody has a strong belief in something, don't tell them they're wrong. Just say to them, that's an interesting thing. What evidence do you have to support that? Oh, what draws you to that conclusion? What makes you think that way? How do placebos work? Placebos work because we truly believe that this medication, often a sugar tablet, no medicinal benefit whatsoever, we get better, we improve because we believe in it. This is the strength of the belief. So there's the top tip from this section. Don't say to somebody that they're wrong, just ask them, what evidence do you have to support that? What makes you think that way?